Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for spending some time with me today. It's a Motivational Monday. Yay! So last Monday, which was the 2nd of January, we were supposed to do number 49. And as you may have noticed from the post that I put up and the fact that there was no video, I missed it. And it makes me sad because I got 48 Mondays in a row and then I just couldn't get that one done. Between the studio being torn up and Lochinvar being sick and I was sick and holiday, it was crazy. So we're just going to go ahead and do 49 this week and kind of just bump out the other ones to another one. So because I want to do a whole 52, I do want to get through a whole year's worth. That was kind of my commitment to myself. So you might remember last week we did this one, or I guess it was the week before last. The last one we did, 48, was this one. So 49, I have chosen one of my favorite sayings: get up, dress up, and show up. And it doesn't matter if you have the and. A lot of times I always just say get up, dress up, show up, So it's kind of one of my favorite things to say, and I say it to myself. I have said it to my daughter. I have said it to my husband. So I've said it to my students. So here's what I thought. I thought for the dress up part, we would use one of the paper dolls. Since I cleaned a bunch of stuff out, I found things that I forgot I had. And that's part of the problem when you have too much stuff is you don't really know what you have. There's so much of it that it kind of bogs you down. And that's what was happening to me. It was bogging me down. So now that I have cleaned it all out, some of the bins still need to be sorted a little bit better by size, like small, medium, and large images, that kind of thing. But I do have a bin for paper dolls. And I made this one in a video with animal head paper dolls, animal paper dolls. So I will link that video below. If you haven't seen that one and you're interested, it will be down there. So I pulled out a few that I made, and I really like this one with a little bit of bling here. By the time this shows up, my birthday will be past, but I'm filming this just a day before my birthday. And so this will show up on Monday the 9th, I think. And so I love blue. It's one of my favorite colors, and I always wear something blue on my birthday. So thinking about what I'm going to wear tomorrow when I go out to lunch, I am thinking about blue. So I picked this one because I really like this one. I like the blingy gold. I like the blue. Like the animal. The backing is paper bag. So again, I will just link that video below. So then I went through my backgrounds, and if you saw my video on the, after of reorganization, I told you that I had changed some of what I kept. I imposed some different criteria on what to keep. And one of the criteria is that the background or the image look like it had been drawn as opposed to a photograph of a place or a person or a thing. So that kind of got rid of a lot of my backgrounds, and I don't have very many vertical backgrounds. Most of the backgrounds I have are horizontal. So I pulled out a few that I thought would work, just color-wise. I just kind of looked at the colors and went, these look like colors that would go with this one. So I thought we'd test drive some of them. And you can always put a border or something if it's too small, not concerned too much about it. It does give me lots of scenery, like trees and parks and things like that, because people don't tend to paint. I mean, people do paint buildings and things, but they don't really paint, or there aren't really books of, about, doing interior things. So this came from a book about birds, and somebody had painted some birds and stuff. So let's see how this looks here. I'm thinking I think we put it to the center, but we need to be able to close that. And so that's going to kind of infringe a lot on that. And I remember too last time, since we can see this edge, we're going to do a different background on that page. So I'm thinking, of course we could cut this down a little bit. So I'm thinking the image here, my little guy, girl, I don't really know. Not really sure what it is. The clothing looks a little guyish, but the figure looks girlish. You know, so whatever you want it to be. It's whatever you want it to be. So I was thinking to the side, and then we'd put maybe the quote like kind of up in this area. So that one's okay. I'm not real thrilled with the tree and stuff. Let's see. I like the colors in this one a lot. I mean, I realize it's got penguins on it, but you really won't see the penguins. So I like the colors here, and I think whatever we write will cover up this, which really just kind of leaves this part. And I thought this kind of blue-gray was pretty. It was like a person was standing in front of an ocean scene, you know. I'm standing up over, you know, over somewhere with this in the background. It's like, yes, here I am. I'm showing up for life, right? You know, so I like the colors on that one. And then this one, look at this. It does actually have some buildings in it. It's a park scene. And so I think, you know, maybe the idea of the park scene with the buildings and stuff back here. Although if we put the quote here, it's going to cover up the buildings. I mean, I guess we could put the quote down here and leave the buildings. So we're gonna probably lose the buildings with the quote. You know, unless we move it, which we could. I mean, if I don't care really about keeping the birds down here, like, I don't know. That's tough because I like the buildings and stuff up here, so I think I might cover up, like, let's see, okay. Let's just put a sticky note. Like, if this was covered up, would that matter? If it was covered up here. Yeah, see, I think I'd rather see the buildings in the background on this. But I'm not sure I care about this part down here because you can still see the trees and stuff. That's okay. So maybe that's all right. All right, so let's go back to this one. No, I don't really love that one, the one with the tree on it. I am so sorry. I just keep coughing and coughing. I just can't seem to get over whatever this is. Okay, and then here, I think, you know, we could cover up here. And then we'd have this in the foreground, because this is the part I like here, is the rocks. All right, so rocks and the colors with the blue, the kind of blues and grays. Or does this person look like they're dapper and city-oriented? Look down here, maybe. Okay, I'm thinking maybe this one. All right, so I will put those two away. And so we'll have this. So let's see. I don't mind the white border. I think we'll probably cover it up with something else, washi tape or something, but I just want to see how close it is. Yeah, it's pretty well centered. If we just glue it down, I think we can just trim it and it'll be all right. I did, you find all kinds of things. I had made a bunch of snippet rolls, and I think maybe I'll pull out some snippet rolls. And I have some that are kind of started, that are sort of just the background. There's really not a lot of stuff on it. And I'll show you what I did with some of them. Some of them, I've got a few that are, you know, full snippet rolls with decorations and all kinds of stuff on them. And then I have a few that are not. So I'm going to kind of center this in the file folder here. And it's okay. We can just repunch those holes. And that put us really close. Yeah. Oops, I kind of moved it a little bit, didn't I? But I think I pushed it down too hard now. Oh well. Well, we're going to put a border on it, so it doesn't really matter, but that is kind of annoying that I put it in there and then moved it. All right. Trim this off here. It's that file folder shape, so just want to maintain the shape of the file folder. And then a trash bucket. I think I might have got it just a little too close there. I'm just going to trim that a little bit, just because I am going to put an edge on there. And, you know, of course, I suppose I could put some washi tape down to hold that. So, all right. Okay. I think that's good. So I have a bin, like I said, with some snippet rolls. And I had kind of sorted them out by color, and so they were in different places. And I found all of them and put them together in one spot. So some of the things I had offcuts when I made a journal with a black and white background for some flowers and things. I did some really bright colored flowers. I just used the offcuts, the scraps from that paper, and I put some washi tape over it, and I did it on a painter's tape background. So you just kind of unroll the painter's tape and stick things, and then I kind of just went back and added a little glue here and there, and then as I use it, I will just re-stick the edges, like, you know, this is rolled, so the edges are a little loose, but that just makes it, you know, so you can re-stick it fairly easily later. So I have that one. Then I have one that I did the same thing with, but I cut it in half. So I did it, but then I used some of those funky edge scissors and cut it. So it was this, but it was cut in half. So I have a couple of these. So I really like this one because it's kind of graphic and black and white. This one, I punched circles from a magazine and did the same thing with a piece of tape. So you can see I used some skinnier painter's tape. And then I just stuck the circles. I just overlapped them. So there are no embellishments on this yet, nothing but the circles. But I feel like this is a nice base. So just color-wise, I just tried to stick to colors I thought went together. So I have several of them with different colors. This is kind of browns and greens. And then this one is brighter. You can see there's some greens and purples, pinks, oranges. So all I did was use a circle punch to punch out magazine pictures and colors and textures. So you can see some of them, like there's a little butterfly, there are little flowers, little plants. You know, here's a vase. So all I did was just punch circles and then overlap them on a piece of painter's tape. So I think that's a nice base. I think you know that would make a nice edge for something. And if you wanted to add things to it, you could. If you wanted to just sew down the middle, you could do that. The painter's tape is really low tack, so it's easy to sew through. It's just paper tape, basically. You know, that's really low tack. So I think I could go back and sew these down, and that would be kind of interesting, like a zigzag stitch or something down the middle. Might make it really interesting to use, that sort of thing. So I have several of those. This is paintable wallpaper that I just cut in strips, and I just painted it. I painted it in big sheets, and then I cut it in strips and glued it together in strips. I had some of this around a bulletin board as a border in my classroom. So it's just, you can see where I've glued the strips together. I just cut it and glued it. So this would be a nice base. This is just kind of all variegated orange color. And then this one is purple. It's just pieces, bits and pieces, scraps, and a little bit of washi tape. I have not sewn it yet. There's no sewing going on there. These I have in multiple colors where I just made strips. I made a strip, and this, you can see these are fully decorated with buttons and doodads and stickers and patches. This is a patch and ribbon and just layers, all kinds of layers of things. So these have a lot more texture, so these stick up a lot more. I like these more on covers, things like that, or something that's going to stick out over the edge where it's not going to be as bulky maybe in the book. So that's those. Let's see. And then here's a full snippet roll that I had done. I think I did this actually on a video quite a while back. So this one is just done in browns and beiges with bits and pieces of all kinds of stuff on it. So those are, I found those in kind of scattered throughout my bins in different colors and things. So I thought it would be good to put them all in one place so that when I'm looking for an edging, like normally I would go and I'd pick a color and go get a washi tape. But because I have all of these fun ones, I can kind of, see how they might look. So I'm thinking that based on the fact that this, just colors and the kind of the style, the jacket, the smoking jacket thing, that it might be fun to use something like this, and we can cover up that whole white edge and have a nice border around it. I really like that idea. So I think that's a good idea. Yep, okay, so let's just trim it there so we can glue it down. So I think this is, I feel like some of the way I've reorganized some of this is going to help me use it better. And that's the goal. The goal is to be able to use your supplies, and I've pretty much put a moratorium on buying any new supplies. Just because I feel like I have so much, and I just don't want to. I want to be a good steward of what I have, and after cleaning out all of the stuff and seeing just the excessiveness of what I had, because it was just too much. And I think sometimes I would buy something just because it was pretty. It's like, oh, this is pretty, I'm just going to buy it. So I'd buy it, and then I'd come home and put it away and either hoard it, or sometimes I'd come home and think, where would I put this? I wonder if I should do we'll do the bottom edges first, top and bottom. Where should I put this? And then sometimes I might find something similar that I'd already bought. It's like, I didn't even realize I already had some of this. And gosh, I discovered I have a penchant for butterflies, which I knew, but not quite the penchant I realized. I didn't realize maybe I had so many butterflies. So I and even those, even after I clean them out, I have a ton of butterflies. And when I cleaned them out, I decided if it was a photograph of a butterfly, I wasn't going to keep it. It kind of fit that criteria I was telling you about. I think I want things that are more, that look more like they're pieces of art. Not that photography can't be art, because it certainly can. Just that instead of using a photograph of something, I want to use something that looks like it's been drawn, or I want to draw it. One of my goals this year is to practice drawing a lot more. So I have set a goal for myself to spend, 3 or 4 days a week You know, I don't have to spend the whole day, but to draw 3 or 4 days a week. I would like to have set a goal for myself to draw like 7 days a week, but I know that's not going to happen. I am not going to get 7 days a week done of anything. So it's just not going to happen. So I thought if I said, you know, 4 days, I'm waffling between, you know, 3 and 4. Should I do 3? Should I do 4? But I think I'm going to try to do 4. And I think, though, if I don't finish a drawing, you know, in one day, I can come back and finish it the next. So I had some coupons and a gift certificate for Michael's. So I bought myself a small, it's not super big, a small art journal to devote to drawing. And so that's kind of what I'm going to do there is just draw, do little layouts drawing. I might paint them in. I really love coloring, you know, so I'm probably going to use those lovely paint markers that I got for Christmas, and you know, color some in and things like that. So my goal is to do that, and I'm gonna try to post. I try to remember to post those on Instagram, to my Instagram account. And I'm really bad about posting stuff to Instagram. I look at Instagram, I just don't tend to post things on there, which is kind of silly. I don't really know why. I look at it and I think, oh, that's cool, or that's cool, and that's cool. And I think, oh, I should post a picture of this or that. But then I don't take the picture. So, you know, if I take the picture, I'm usually okay. I manage to post it. But a lot of times I draw things and then my phone is somewhere else, you know, and so I end up not taking the picture of it. And it's like, oh, I should post that. I should post my drawing of this or that. And then I just never go take the picture. So you know, there it is. I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? All right, so we infringed a little bit on those buildings here, but not a lot because most of that was that white border. And that's kind of a fun frame, isn't it? That's kind of fun. I like it. All right, and then our little fox person is going to go right here. And then we can put our wording down here. Let's see, should we cut a piece of paper to fit there and put this on top? Or I could glue down the center of it and leave that and then finish the edges after. Maybe that's a good idea. We'll just put, I just won't glue kind of that arm. We'll kind of leave this whole arm here without any glue. We'll see if the glue stick will hold this. I don't know. I pulled out my art glitter glue just in case, but we'll see. I really get frustrated with the art glitter glue. You know, and it's good glue. It sticks really well. I just struggle with the tip getting clogged, and I know I have one of those little things. I have the tip thing. I put a little thing in it to keep it from you know, drying out, and it still gets clogged, and I just struggle with that. And I'm sure it's user error, but you know, it frustrates me a little bit. So, and we'll let his ears stick up, her ears, whatever, just barely, not a big deal. Okay. All right, so this is open to slide some wording under here, a piece of paper. All right, so get up, dress up, show up, I think is what we want here. You know, this is cool because we've already got some bling here. Let me see what I've got. Rotate some bins here. I had pulled out a bin with paper scraps. Oops. So Here's my Sharpie bin. All right, so here's the bin with paper scraps in it, and I thought this would be a good use of paper scraps to find something to, you know, write on. Let's see. Oh, I have this light blue, which goes with the bling. That stuff's probably in the way. Let's do this. Okay, so I have the light blue that would kind of go with the bling here. We could cut that down. That's kind of nice. I like that. I have this. That's a little boring. And I have some vellum. We could still see behind it. That might be kind of interesting. I'm not sure if my pen will write on vellum. And then I have some coffee dyed. Let's see. I have some coffee dyed, which is nice because the blue of that kind of picks up the blue here. It's graph paper. And I have some lined paper. Nope, don't like that one. Nope. Okay, I think one of these three options is probably good. Let's see. Is a sticky note about the right size? If I did it about the size of a sticky note. Because I was thinking that I could cut it to the size of a sticky note. And then we'd know what size it should be. And test drive them. Well, it's not quite straight, is it? I didn't do a very good job of cutting that straight. Whew. It even has lines. Gosh, Jenny, look at the lines. Heavens. Okay, that's better. All right. So maybe there it could even actually come down onto the border a little bit here so it's not sticking up behind her. I still haven't decided if it's a his or her. I think the eyelashes look female. I think the bling looks female. I think the form looks female, but I feel like the clothes, yeah, it's a female. We'll call it a girl. If the form and the eyelashes look like a girl, it's a girl. All right, so there's that. I'm not really sure. Have you guys ever, I haven't really worked with vellum very much. I only have a few little pieces of it. And it is not something I am familiar with. So sorry, guys. I just keep coughing on you, and I don't mean to. You guys been fighting this respiratory stuff this year? I swear, I've just never seen so much stuff. I do not have COVID. I took a bunch of COVID tests, and I don't have COVID. I haven't had COVID. This is kind of interesting, isn't it? I didn't do a very good job of getting that straight either, did I? Oops. I am not apparently good at cutting things straight. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that's better. All right, so we could go down onto this a little bit, or we could go up here a little bit. Maybe down onto here. What do you think? How would that work? If we put get up, dress up, show up, would that show up against that background? That's kind of cool. I think I might be liking that the best so far. All right, one more option. This time, I'm going to get smart, and I'm going to put the sticky note on here so it doesn't move. You'd think I would have thought of that first, huh? But I did not, alas. I was watching a video the other day. I mentioned it was my birthday the last few days, and I was watching a video where this guy, it was his birthday, and he had watched another one where some famous, I can't remember who it was. Wish I could remember. All right, blue. What do you think? Blue or this? Okay, I like this better than the blue. That or that. Okay, we can do both of those and then put them in there and see. So I was telling you, I saw this guy where he had watched a video, right? We all watch these videos of somebody. I can't remember who he was watching. It was a famous writer, but I don't remember which one. Sorry. Anyway, the person he was watching had made a list of very specific things he had learned. And he did this list for his 60th birthday. So he made a list of 60 things he had learned. And it was very specific stuff like, friends are, more important than money. And having a friend with a boat is better than having a boat yourself. That kind of stuff. So he was inspired, the guy I was watching was inspired to make a video of things he had learned. He had just turned 32. And so, it's kind of light, isn't it? This one's a little better. He had just turned 32, so he made a list of 32 things. So, I turned 32. I wish. I turned 58 on my birthday. And I am in the process of making a list of 58 things I have learned. And one of them that I put on there is get up, dress up, show up, because it's one of the things that I grew up hearing from my parents. One of the things I have learned, that when I'm having a rough day, if I just get up and put on something I like and show up for life, it's better. It makes the day better. It gets better. Even though some days it's really hard, and I have had plenty of days where it was definitely a struggle to get out of bed. And sometimes we all have those days, but especially during the last year, it's been rough. But 2023 is going to be better, so that's why I wanted to put in this get up, dress up, show up. So I might be doing a little series of things with some of the things I've learned. So I think that might be kind of fun, and I'm going to try to get a list of 58 to go with my birthday. But if I get more, that's okay. And I think as I think of things or learn things, maybe I might add them. So I'm thinking I might put the list somewhere. So I'm not really sure yet. I'm thinking about that though. All right, so we got 3 lines here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that would be 5 lines total. So if I did 1, 2, 3 lines right, and skip 1, 1, 2, 3, right, skip 1, 1, 2, 3. So wait, I got 5. Okay, I'm just trying to work out where I could put, where I should put the lines. So maybe if I skip 2, so 1, 2, right on these 3, skip 1, right on these 3, skip 1, right on these 3, and that leaves me 2 at the bottom. Okay, so if I skip 2, use 3 lines. Okay, so I'm going to skip 2 lines, and then I'm going to use 3 lines, 3 squares to write. Okay. Skip 1. Not really using, the lines. Oh my gosh. Let's see what happens when I talk. Oh my heavens. That should be an S. Well, let's see. If I like this one better, I'm going to try the vellum. If I like this one better, I'll rewrite it. Jenny, pay attention to what you're doing. So I can rewrite it if we need to. I think I like it better with the one here and the, yeah, anyway. All right, so even though I messed it up, if we decide we like it, how it looks on this, then I'll, get another piece and redo it. All right, so that's gonna have to come down quite a ways. Oh, see, I didn't think about it covering it up, so that's really gonna have to come out to the edge, just barely under the arm, which is okay. All right, so get up, dress up, show up. Although I could probably move it up a little. Okay, so get up, dress up, show up. If you like the guy with the bike, that's okay. We can put that. All right, let's try here. And this one, since there are no lines and I've already cut it, I wonder if I can just kind of use it as a guide. Since it's vellum, only we'll have to be sure not to repeat the mistake, right? It's funny what I do sometimes when I'm talking. I just don't pay attention to what's going on occasionally. See, and these actually need to go up a little higher to make them more in line with that one. Okay. What do we think about that? Get up, dress up, show up. I mean, I could definitely make it heavier so we could see it better. Since it's this, I wonder if we could put it up here. We'd still be able to see the buildings behind it. I think I like it actually up here with the, because you can still see through with the buildings behind it. So, all right, I do think I need a heavier marker for that though. So let's try this one. Boy, this one is not very good. All right, I think I'm gonna have to get my alcohol markers. That one's trash, apparently. And I don't think I have another black Sharpie. I don't. All right, so alcohol markers. Find the black one, that's gray. See, I haven't sorted these. Of course, the ones that I haven't sorted are the ones that I want. I'll bet those paint markers, I'll bet that would work. Hang on just a minute. Okay. So here's that Artex acrylic marker set. I got these for Christmas, and I'm so excited to have them. It's got two little trays in the box. Let's see, where's the black? There's the black. These are dual tip. So there's a brush tip on one end and a fine little marker tip on the other. So let's see. Let's see if we can go over this. A nice black. We'll use the brush tip. Get a nice fat letter. I don't want to put a lot of extra stuff on here because we're going to be able to see behind it. So want to let us see behind it. But I am pushing fairly hard to get a really fat line here with that brush tip. Get up, dress up, show up. What are some of the sayings that, or, I guess sayings, I don't know, that, you have used your whole life, that you have said to, your kids, and maybe your parents said them to you? I've said these, like I said, I have, I have said this to, parent or kids, students, my husband, everybody I know pretty much. Let's see. Okay, so looks a little wet. I want to dry that just a little here, because it is paint. It says acrylic marker set, and it does say that they're it says it calls it ink, but when it's dry, it looks like paint, I think. So let me show you. I am working on this. I started this last night, and I just didn't have time to finish it at the time. So I was drawing some cocktail dresses just for fun. I got some drawing books for Christmas as well. And so I was drawing some cocktail dresses, and you can see I have colored these in. And when you run your finger across it, it feels like paint. And that's I used these acrylic marker set. So online, it says there's like it's an ink, and people are like, well, but it's not necessarily. I mean, it's kind of water based, so if you get it wet, it might run. But paint does that too sometimes. So, I don't know. It's like it feels like paint, and when you're putting it on, it kind of goes on like paint. You can put it on over something, like you can color over things. So if you put a color down and you let it dry, and then you put another color on top of it, it'll show up. It's opaque enough to show up. So I just think they're cool. I'm having fun playing with them. So that's on my agenda to finish today. So let's see. That looks pretty dry. So let's see. We could put it there, and maybe just put it right there. I don't know. Does Yoo-hoo stick work with vellum? I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out. So I don't want to rub it too much, so I'm just going to kind of press, because in case it is a little wet, I don't want it to smear. But it doesn't seem to be. I mean, I'm patting it. It doesn't seem to be smearing. So let's see if we can put some glue under that arm now that I didn't glue down before. That whole side here. I think I'm going to do this, and then I can kind of press a little harder without like rubbing paint or smearing here. So, all right. This is kind of cool. I like that because you can still see the buildings in the background. Huh. And we saved the birds down here. I was curling just a little at that edge. Oh, looks like I have a little tear here in the vellum. Let's see if I can get that to stick. There we go. All right. Okay. So what kind of embellishments should we put on it? So our person already has some embellishments, and that's usually where we put things. Should we do something around the border maybe, or, on the edge. What do you think? So let me go have a dig through the embellishments, the bling. I have two, I've separated everything out into two piles. I have stick-on bling and bling on a roll. So let me take a look at those, and I will be right back with something to give us a little bling. I think around the edge. I think maybe to enhance the border here, just to make it a little more fancy, right? I like fancy. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I found some bling on a roll. So I'm tempted to show you the bins, stick on bling and bling on a roll, just because I think it's silly. So I found some of this bling on a roll, which I like. So I was thinking, that too wide might be a little wide. There were a couple pieces down in there that I'd already cut apart. So if we take a look at those, maybe that's the ticket. So I think I like this. Kind of just down the middle, just gives it an added something, right? Yeah, so I think we're going to do that. Let's see. Probably just going to want, can we do a smaller piece? Do we want to turn it, like start it there and then go up and then turn? I think that might be a good idea. So to here, should we put the hot glue on the card? Probably. Kind of across here. Oh, I hear kitty cats unhappy with one another, it sounds like. And then I slop that down there crooked. Oh well. We get it straightened out. Although it might take a little more glue over here because I didn't get it straightened out before it dried. Or cooled, I guess. I guess hot glue doesn't really dry, does it? It just cools. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm liking that. Let's see. Is this piece long enough? Nope. Okay. This one. Go up to, let's see, because we don't want it to go all the way up. Is this about halfway? Gotta figure out where to cut it off here. That one or somewhere in between. Okay, we'll stop with the pink. We'll stop with the pink. I think maybe it might be easier to put a couple little things here. Get it kind of there. And then pick it up and go along. That might be a little easier. Heaven knows I'm not good at straight lines. Which is part of the reason I need some drawing practice, is so I can learn to draw lines better, right? But I do want to draw a little more and try to make some of my own stuff, my own ephemera designs, things like that. I've always done some of that, but I'm really interested in filling my journals with things that are definitively individual to me. So that's kind of what I'm after, I think. I was watching some videos on determining your art style. And I kind of already know my art style, but this is about, kind of defining it maybe. I definitely have a style, and, people are like, can somebody tell when it's your work? They probably could, yeah, because there's plenty of bling. That might be the telltale sign. I'm not really sure. But so I was watching videos on how to determine your style, and it was interesting because most of the videos were like, we just have to make a lot of art and then you'll see what your style is. And then there was one video that I watched that said, you know, making art and looking at art are two different things. So, you know, if you compiled like 50 pieces of art that you wish you had made, you know, not that you did make, not that you're going to copy it or anything, but just, you know, if you could make art that looks like that, that's what you would make. And that you could use that to help you determine your style. And then you can practice that style, which I thought was a really good idea. You know, that you can learn, like you can look at something and learn how to do it that way. You know, if that's how you want to do it, like if you want to, if you would love to, you know, be able to draw in a very super realistic, like photorealistic manner, you know, you can learn to do that. You can practice to do that if that's really what the style is that you want. You know, you can take classes, you can watch videos, you can read books. There are all kinds of things, right? You can do to learn how to do that. And so I really thought that was a nifty idea. And it says, you know, too, you can learn different styles, of course, and, you know, you can identify your style in the same way, that you don't necessarily have to make a bazillion pieces of art, but you should look at pieces of art. You know, there are 50 pieces of art that you wish you could make, whether you can or not. Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't, but you know, that if you had the skill to do it, that's what you would do. And so I started looking at things and pulling out some ideas. And the interesting thing is, then the person said, you know, when you have like 50 of these, you know, put them on a Pinterest page or something. When you have like 50 of these, look for commonalities. What do they have in common? What are the, you know, if you were going to, if you were an art museum curator and you put these 50 pieces together in an exhibition, what, you know, what would you title it? What would they have in common? I think one of those is probably enough. You know, what would they have in common? You know, and so I had put some together. I already have a Pinterest board of things that, you know, I love anyway. And so I looked at those, and then I kind of went back and edited the board and was like, you know, is this something I wish I had made, or is it just something that I love? Because there are lots of things I love that I don't really wish I had made. Like it's not something I would want to have made. But I think they're beautiful, and I love them. So I kind of edited and changed the board a little bit, and narrowed it to, you know, things I wish I had made. And what I discovered is what I already knew. I like enough realism to be able to tell what something is supposed to be. I am not interested in photorealism, nor am I interested in total abstraction. I like, you know, colors and things. I like other people, you know, I like abstract art that other people do, but I don't care to do that. So I never do anything that's totally abstract. I always do things that are, you know, you can tell what it is when I draw it or paint it or whatever. It's not photorealistic. It's not that realistic, but it is enough realism to be able to tell what something is. I can tell what it is. And then from there, I like bright colors. I like a lot of pattern. I like silliness, that little irreverence, and I like bling. So those are kind of the hallmarks, I guess, of my style. And I'm going to be kind of exploring those hallmarks this year, I think. And so even though there's not a lot of pattern on this paper doll, There is texture in the paper, and I already had, bling and metallics and things like that. There's some irreverence with the fact that, I have a person body and an animal head. There's some bright colors, the pops of color here in the blue. So this is definitively my style, right? So I like here in this, we've got a lot of pattern in the border, all that pattern. I like very graphic, black and white juxtaposed against color. So, so I feel like this is very much my style. The background might have actually been a little brighter probably, but this is very bright. This has pops of bright color. So it doesn't have to be bright all over, but it does need some bright color on it. And it needs some bling, and it needs some pattern, and it needs a little irreverence. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you stuck with me this long, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps me in the algorithm with YouTube. It helps me get out and be seen by other people. So until next time, I hope you have a great week. Happy Monday to you. Remember, use what you have to make your life more beautiful. Bye.